Morning world. So update on our TB thing. The 6 inconclusive reactors left the farm this morning. So they've now gone off to what's known as voluntary slaughter. Not something I've videoed because I didn't really want to do it, but kind of have to. So now we have to go through the paperwork. So with all livestock, there's a paper trail and there's records that have to be kept. So we have our own herd book for our animals. So now I have to write in each individual animal has its own entry in the book. I have to now write in against this entry what happened to it, when it happened, why it happened, stuff like that. I also have to fill in my movement book. So this is a duplicate copy book where I fill pages in and then I can send them off to animal health. So basically the government knows what's come in and gone out and done and everything else. They already know because I've also had to do it online, where I have to fill in everything online as well, what's left. This is an online service that we can record everything from birth to death and everything in between. So it's a bit of work, but literally hour, I'll have this finished and then I can draw a line under the whole thing, touch wood, and we can move on. So right then, so that's me for an hour. I'll just crack on with that and I'll catch you in a minute. Do you remember we were saying about lambs when they go on the bottle becoming a pain and they follow you everywhere? This lamb, that's her mum, all right, and she's feeding off her mum, but because I've given her a bottle a couple of times, it's literally just following me everywhere. So I need to refresh the bed in here. We've had a good storm of rain and it's all blown straight in the barn. Yesterday I mentioned about the tailing of the lambs and also castration. So I have got 2 lambs now I've got to put rings on, and I'll go through the process again and I will talk you through the castration side. So why do we castrate male lambs? Why do we do it? A couple of reasons. One, most lambs are gone by the end of the year. Very rarely farmers will keep lambs for a year, but come breeding season, if you've got a load of ram lambs out there, some of them will get busy, and we don't want brothers and sisters and stuff like that doing stuff like that. Also, if you keep entire ram lambs, sometimes it can taint the meat. So some people, not so bad as pork. I know a lot of women can't eat pork from a boar pig because they can taste the testosterone, I suppose. It's a bit like with rams. If you've seen a male ram's adult gentleman bits, they're impressive. Okay, they'd put any human to absolute shame. But then a ram can deal with up to 50 ewes. No. Just for a second the thought thinks appealing, but then no. Look, you're not having any. Go and see your mum. So we're going to go through topping and tailing. We call it topping and tailing. A couple of lambs, which will include the process of how to remove the ram lamb's testicles. And this is something for those of you who are interested in sheep and the farming. This is how you do it, because it's very easy to get this thing wrong. If you get it wrong, you can cause a lot of suffering. I'm going to say that again. If you get castrating lambs with rubber rings wrong, it can cause a great deal of suffering. You need to know what you're doing, and you need to get it right, and you need to do it right. So that's the two chosen targets over there. They were in that pen last night. She escaped, but she's quite happy out there, so I've left her at the pen. The idea is the less time they spend in there, the less bug buildup I get in that area. So she will be coming out in a bit as well. So, but okay, top of the tail lambs, let's start. Okay, so first up is a little girl lamb. So once more, we're just going to do her tail. You can stay there, sweetheart. I haven't gone and fetched my other pliers. I'm going to go and fetch my other pliers in a second, but for little girl lambs it's a lot easier. So again, make sure you cover her lady bits. Job done. She's done. But I will put your number on her. I've seen some photographs by some of our, so we say, vegan friends who have put photographs of lambs up with the heading of marked for death and numbered for death and all that, which is absolute tosh. If you see lambs out in the field with a bit of paint on the back with a number on, it's not their number for which slaughter rate. Basically, number 4 is the ewe. Her lambs have number 4, and all that is for is that if for any reason she gets separated from her lambs and they get mixed up, we know which lambs belong to which ewe and we can put them back together again. Because if you put the wrong lamb in with the ewe, she'll probably beat it up. She won't want to know. So it's important for us when we're going through the process of pairing up and mothering that we number, once they're dry, we number the lambs, and then, like I say, if ever they get separated, we know who belongs to who, and that is all those numbers are for. So the vegan tosh you were with marked for death, absolute, well, it's laughable. You know, and it shows how ignorant some of these people really are. So, okay, so next one, if you're a bit squeamish, this is the one that might make you a bit. It's not a job I like doing, but it's necessary and it needs to be done right. So we have a little ram lamb, nice little fella with his gentleman bits. So when you're going to do a castrate on a lamb with a rubber ring, the last thing you do, I will do it with these because I've got them. The last thing you do with this is actually touch the scrotum before the ring's on, because if you do, you touch it and one or both of those testes could shoot back up again. You don't want that, because if you put the ring on and you've missed one, really, really uncomfortable for the lamb to take that ring back off again because you've got to cut it off. So a process you really, really want to avoid. Or if you don't realise, you end up with what's called a ringer. So you find a lamb that's actually entire, and although a testicle can get locked up inside his abdomen, he could still be fertile. So right, so the process. You're going to stay out of my way. Actually, I'm going to put you in there. You just want to get involved. You can go down here. And the process. So, get your lamb, head back, hold him between your knees. Get your ring over a scrotum and squeeze in. Alright? And you've got to make sure that you do not include the 2 nipples there. 1, 2 balls. Job done. Okay, so come back up here. So the ring is now cutting off the blood supply and everything else to both his nuts and the scrotum, but his 2 nipples are outside the ring. Okay, do not take his nipples off. So when you're doing this, you need to be careful. Look what you're doing. Okay, you're done. I'll have your tail while I'm at it. So little boy lambs, you can go a little bit shorter because you haven't got to cover little girl bits. Right, so that's him done. All you need is your number. And you are 5. Okay. No problem with me. Right, I've actually got to do these 2 as well, so we'll go through that again. Good lamb. Another little boy with a slightly mucky bum. Have that off there. So right, I'll put him on the floor down here and you can go through the process again. Little boy, can go a little bit shorter. Don't touch the nuts, right? Go over the nuts, squeeze, make sure that nipple's out, make sure that nipple's out. 1, 2 nuts. Job done. So I know it's going to make a cut that you couldn't, but again, make sure both his nipples are out and his nuts are done. Tail's done, he's done. And, oh, another little boy. Hang on, I'm getting in a ring. I thought you were a girl. I thought that was a little girl. Right. That's not your mum. Come back here. Okay, again. Come here. Little boy. Tail. Don't touch the nuts. Nipple. Nipple. Nut, nut. Job done. That's the key to this, and he's straight back onto mum. Okay, so no lying down and screaming and bleating and whatever else. Both lambs are straight back onto mum. Okay, 2 lambs over there. I'm not saying they don't suffer. I mean, it's got to be uncomfortable. But literally, camera's not stopped running. Little lamb, straight back feeding again. That's what we want to see. Okay, so takes a bit of practice, but when you're tailing and castrating lambs, concentrate. Look what you're doing, know what you're doing, as quickly as you can, as efficiently as you can, and correctly as you can. Come on, you troublemaker. There you go. And you need some water. Do you mind? Just jump in the queue. Thank you. I don't put full buckets in because I don't know what it is about a full bucket of water and lambs. If you put a full bucket of water in there with her, one of the lambs will get in it. Pretty much guaranteed. Right, you've almost finished that, so I reckon I can probably refresh those 2 bottles. Maybe I'll let you finish off what we got left. I'll probably regret this. Happy now, are you? Mother's milk is better. Promise. Isn't it, Mum? She is impressed. Yeah? What? 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 No kisses, alright? Not on camera. Don't get any secrets away. So, right, you finish that one. And there's nothing in there. Sorry. Right, I can go wash those two out. They'll get washed out now, put for the dishwasher. We've actually, that rack came with 4 bottles, so we've got 6. It basically means I can rotate around, so from washed out to dishwasher to refill, back round, they've always got clean bottles. You've got enough of that. You could do with actually a bit of coarse mix. I'll just do that, because I'd forgotten I had given it. Go back in there. Go back in there. Cattle feed. Sheep feed. Oop. We always give the ewes, when they've finished lambing, a bit extra, just to help them out. So this lot get their feed, well, morning and evening, but they get a bit extra as well, just to get the milk really going. Back at it again. Feed number 4 for the day. So they're always hungry, typical kids. Only 2 bottles this time. I don't want to go too mad. They've probably still got half a bottle left from the last feed day in there, so there's no point in feeding way more than they're going to take. It is 20 past 8, so what I would probably do, or what I usually do, is before I go to bed at 11, half past, I'll do another one, and then those bottles will stay in overnight, so they can literally just go and help themselves ad lib during the night. So it'd be nice when they're off of milk, but it's going to be a couple of weeks to this. Abby, you're missing out on all the fun. Poor old Abby. She really is missing out on all the fun. So this is her favourite time of year. You know, she literally can't wait for lambing. And this year, this damn virus has gone and spoilt the whole lot for her. So, but you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid. As long as the lambs get done, she'll be fine. Only problem is, if one dies, I'll have to, you know, maybe the Spanish Inquisition then. Did I do this? Did I do that? Were you checking them regularly? You know. Yes, I am. Right. I'm going to go and put a jumper on because it isn't very nice out there, and I will see you down in the barn. Exciting going on. You're calling your lamb. I know where he is. He is in here. Yeah. I haven't finished the last lot yet. Well, that was good. I just recorded a load of stuff with feeding the lambs and everything. Didn't have the camera on. Typical. So, so you've missed some of it, I'm afraid. So the lambs have had their bottles. There's still some in there, so that one and that one's empty, so I'll take them out with me. These two still got some in. I'll take them back at the house, clean them out, and then they'll come back down later on. You want your lamb back, but he seems quite happy under that heat lamp for a minute. It is a bit chilly tonight, so maybe we'll do that. I'm going to put that bag back over there. So I just hung a log bag up here, and all it does is take a little bit of the draft off of them as well, because lambs like to be warm, and that is toasty in there, isn't it? Want some more milk? You just help yourself. The bar's open bar. And yeah, before I found out that the camera was actually off, I was saying our 6 steers, well, 4 steers and 2 heifers went off this morning. I've already had the results back, so I might just ping that out on an email, and I'll just tell you what, just in case any of you are interested, maybe what the weights are. Maybe I won't, maybe I will, we'll see. But these animals in here now there's a lot more space next door. I might actually put these with the bigger steers. I mean, they're quite big enough to cope with being pushed around by the big guys next door. But if I put all these next door, it opens this side of the barn, which I can then clean out, completely muck it out, disinfect the wasp name out of it. So I'll FAM30 this to death once it's cleaned out. Put down a fresh bed of wood chip in there, which still makes a good bed, and then the ewes and lambs that have already, the lambs are already born. So lambs with dried up navels, they've had their colostrum, they've had their spectam, they've had all their bits and bobs, so their immune system is that bit stronger. Instead of leaving them in here with the other ewes that are about to give lamb, I can give them more space and put them in there. It'll take a few hours to do, but I think it'll probably be worth the effort. And those guys, once they've settled down, there'll be a bit of mooing and kicking about and pushing and shoving tomorrow. But I reckon once they've settled down, they can go in with half a dozen remaining owls next door. That's the plan I'm thinking about tonight. Probably will change tomorrow. So, right then, okay. That's it, we're done down here. I'm going to take those 2 empty bottles back up. Nothing looks terribly imminent down here. We've had a load of misty, horrible light rain again. Unfortunately, we've got a big gap on the side of the barn here. Net's fine that side, but we didn't have net up there, and the floor's getting wet, which is an issue because wet and stuff like this, there's always a chance of bugs and infection. I like a dry floor. So we might have to put some chip in here just to spread out and soak it up a bit. Okay, so bottles out. Empty bottles anyway. So he can come out. He can come out. They can stay in there. You can stay under the lamp. We'll go back up the house. Clean these out. He's in there, alright? He's okay. Or she's okay. She's just getting warm. Right there, folks. Yeah, they're quiet enough in there.